Share with Mark and Diane, real estate news and views, and the condo market stuttering again.
There's lots of bad, and more bad press about the condo market in Toronto. I've seen multiple videos, multiple broadcasts from CP24, CTV News, etc., how bad that market is. I think there's 15,000 more units coming on in 2025, and tons of them are for sale. And what a few of the commentators talked about was that these developers built units that are shoeboxes, and no one
Hmm.
wants
Yeah.
them. And it's fueled a lot by investors, right? Buy, put them in. Now there's an oversupply in the marketplace, and it's everywhere. I shouldn't say
Well,
everywhere, but in GTA markets, Toronto, it's everywhere.
the thing is, Mark, is that last month we had a big uptick. I don't know if you remember, but I'll bring up the spreadsheet. Last month, it actually like everything went up, and I thought, oh, are we seeing something improving? And now it went in the gutter again.
Lots of bad news circulating around this world today. There's
Oh,
so
yeah,
much.
I know all the real estate news is just all negative, right?
It's terrible
Everything.
right now. So for March, for January, February, positive in the condo sales, right? Compared to year over year 2024, March down 5, which is decent compared to freehold.
And look at the year to date was up 18%.
10%. Right, right.
But then April, we pooped the bed.
Yeah,
We
yeah,
went we went 26 sales and there was 33 last year.
yeah.
And so down 21%. The actives are over double, 114 last year to 242 this year.
There you
But
go.
look,
So let's talk about that before we go on. Let me do the plug, and then I want to talk about the inventory levels. So, I forgot what I was going to say now.
well, no,
Blank.
what the funny thing is in March we were up 48%. The inventory was actually 48% higher. Now we're
Yeah.
down to 29% higher because look at hold on.
The year to dates changed last year over um last year's year to dates changed, right? We're still call it 30%. We're still up 30% more inventory than we did last year, correct?
Yes.
So
But our year to date now, we're 29% below and we were 18% above before.
yeah, I think that math might be wrong, but anyway, double check
Well,
that.
look at last year to date there was 114 and now we're at 123. Oh, that is wrong, Mark.
Right. So let's change that. I'll do the
Huh.
plug.
Okay.
So if you like this content, excluding the mess ups we just had, click the like and subscribe button. And anyone wants information on home valuation or a buyer that wants more information on the very simple real estate market, click the links right in the beginning of our description. They're there. So yeah, so 7%, right?
We're up 7%
Year to date. Okay,
year to date.
right? So
It makes
okay.
us human, Mark. We're just
Oh
human.
yeah, just human, no big deal. But you know, we and I'm not going to talk over pricing. I've changed the wording around it because people hate me going on about it, but I'm not going to go on that much about it. But we have sellers. It's almost like a stalemate. We have sellers that want this price and buyers that want to pay this price, and the
Yeah.
market's stagnant. It's not really. It's doing nothing. In month over month, we're more, reporting. Oh, inventory's up, sales are down all the time, and no
Mm-hmm.
different this month. So something's going to have to give. And because I can tell you right now, buyers are not giving in.
No, they're not.
Based on what we're seeing, listings keep accumulating on the board, right? And then, that's a reflection of the poor sales month over month and year to date in other parts of the market. And, we there's so many moving pieces right now to this economy right now. We're in a tailspin, I believe, right? We're just
Well, yes. And you know what's funny
in the
though?
dirt.
Last year in March, actives were 119 and they jumped to 173.
And that's normal. right? We see a spring
It,
market.
yeah, from March to April, but we didn't see as big of a jump this year. It was
No.
227, we went to 242.
Yeah.
It was like the jump was in March last year.
Yeah. 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 We had some nice days in March, but still the winter was tough. But yeah, I mean, and do we see some of the frustration, Diane, that maybe some of the sellers just went, hey, you know what? We've tried for 6 months now. Now we're gonna rent it out. Rents are
You know
coming.
what?
It's
Yeah,
definitely
and
happening for a lot of people.
I've also seen that with houses
Oh, for sure.
where they're for sale and lease at the same time.
I just think everybody's scared of the market, and everybody's really scared in the condo market right now. I'm going to talk about our discussion yesterday, and we had an opportunity. We tried to pitch to an investor, one of Dan's investors, where the client, not even the client, let's say person A, bought a condo back in 2022, 599, put 20% down. I think the down payment structure was 124,000, and he can't close on it that comes due in August. So he said, you know what? Find a buyer just to take it over. I just want to get out of this completely. And we can't find a buyer right now.
No,
It's a
he's
deal.
willing
It's a
to sell
deal.
it for
475.
475. He's willing to lose 125,000
Hmm. Right.
and we can't find a taker. No, nobody will
Right
take it.
now.
No.
No. No. Right. Because they're scared. Right. So yeah, I think there's good value in that condo, especially for someone that wants to be a long-term investor possibly or move into it. Great value. But I don't have anybody.
No, I have a couple people that do investments, and in the past they have bought new build condos
Mhm.
and they've rented them out for a year or two and then sold them.
Right.
But they're even too scared
They're scared.
because, like I said, listen, you're paying 125,000 lower than everybody else.
Yeah. And the phase two's coming on sale or already is on sale. That's going to be built in 2 or 3 years. That's a deal. But
It's a huge deal because by and large, most people don't want to sell at a loss. So you're gaining at least 100 grand.
instant equity.
Yeah,
Instant. But it's still tough for people to make that decision.
it's still scary.
It's scary. Not new developers, but new projects in the city in Toronto are they expect 30% of the product being pushed back to the developer on people can't close or willing to close or can't get mortgage financing, funding, etc. That's a big, big number.
Oh, it's huge.
It's
It's
huge.
huge.
So
You want to look at our numbers on
yeah,
price
let's go
ranges?
numbers kind of all over the map, but I think it's a good thing to talk about where the condo market is and where the sentiment is.
So here we go. So in 3 to 400, last year we had one sale, this year six, actives 18. I personally think that's partly though, because last year we didn't see many in that price range.
No, we didn't. We didn't. And that's still a pretty cheap price range, right? And
And
you
we
know,
have 18 actives now in that range.
right. So 33% are selling and whoops. So 67% aren't selling. If we look at active,
And you want to know something, Mark? Up until this year or the end of last year, I didn't even have 3 to 400 listed because there wasn't any.
no, no,
And
no.
now I added it because it's a thing now. 3 to 400 is happening.
Yeah. And I think if people are listing today, whether it's a condo, whether it's a freehold property, price matters today.
Hmm.
Proving
Now
that.
this is shocking to me. Four sales, 4 to 500,
Yeah.
18 last year.
Yeah.
But there's 88 listings at that price range. It's our highest range.
It's unbelievable. But think about that range though. We've seen a lot. Who was buying condos back 2 years ago? Investors, speculators, really?
Yeah.
Where are we seeing a lot of condo projects being done today? Spiceway over that area, right?
Yeah.
Pratt has probably 10, 11 buildings over there.
Hmm.
Oh, some are with a lot are in that price range. So 5% is selling, 95% aren't. It's a flooding of the market. And basic economics are telling us that prices should go down. Should.
Well, I know, but you know where I think the government and the city and everybody's kind of making mistakes with these things? They're trying to do like affordable housing and they want and they're doing just a shitload of condos.
100%.
Like they're adding all this, oh, we need more housing, we need more housing. And all they're doing is like shoving in all these condo buildings everywhere, but people don't want them.
No, I could see in Toronto for that reason why for affordability down there. But we're seeing a lot of condo projects in here that are undergo and been adding inventory to the market year over year. But who's buying? Like for rentals investors, like we don't have the demographic like we do in Toronto that's in them, right? Typically our demographic appears, let's just say 50 and above in a condo. Some, the average we'll say, right? There's
Hmm.
some younger ones, older ones, a good mix. But I don't see 20-year-olds in my building, right? I see them over in Spice Way in the four to $500,000 condos as rentals.
Hmm.
Right.
Yeah.
So yeah, I
People
think
don't want that. Like people, if they, the thing is, okay, if you can afford a $500,000 condo
with a common fee.
with the common element fee,
Hmm,
you could probably get a house for 600, 650, and or 625 once you do the math of the fees and everything.
hmm,
And houses are selling for that, Mark.
100%. 100%.
Like you, but before a condo was like, well, it's the only thing I can afford to buy.
Not anymore,
Not anymore.
right? There's options out there. And I
Yeah.
think maybe that younger demographic, first timers shifting to more, let's get a townhouse. Let's get a small detached
Hmm.
because it's going to weigh out the same thing time you put the common element fee into the picture for qualifying purposes.
Exactly. That's the thing that's I think's happening. So
So
in the 5 to 6, we had 12 sales last year, 13 this year, basically a wash. But
staggering.
we have 81 actives.
Again, 16% is selling.
So 84% is not.
84% is not selling. That's massive. And I'm not going to go through the inventory and show them all that and pricing wrong, right? If it's not selling, there's a reason why it's not selling. But okay, here's a question. Will we see by if the market starts to balance more, and I mean more favorably more to the buyer, and it should be currently doing that right now with the amount of inventory, will prices drop because of, some sellers will say, you know what, I've had enough. We've tried the game to get as much as we can. That's no longer an issue. We need to sell. What's it going to take?
Well, I think, Mark, eventually that's got to happen, doesn't it?
It should happen. Or we're going to see an abundance of inventory being taken off the market because we didn't get our money. Maybe. I don't think so, but a chunk, some will, for sure. Right? It's only so long we can sit, and then a lot of those are still vacant because you don't want to put a tenant in there because you may not get them out. So it's really a lot of financial pressure on the owner,
Oh, for sure.
right? So it's going to be interesting. It's going to be an interesting market in 2025, Dan. It's I don't expect big things.
Mark, we're almost halfway through the flipping year,
No, we're going to June.
and
We're at
it's
the halfway mark,
crap still.
right?
Yeah. Okay, so 6 to 700. We had five last year, two this year, and only 40 actives.
Yeah, that's like, wow. That's unbelievable. Hang on. That is unbelievable. That's 95% aren't selling in all ranges. Look at them. 80s and 90s. The cheapest range is the best range, and there's still an abundance of inventory in that range.
I know.
Right?
Yeah.
The condo sellers can do is analyze the inventory, go back and look at sold properties in your area. Do not go over the city. Do it at 250 to 500-meter radius and pinpoint the properties that are selling and look at why. Are they better furnished? Are they cleaner? Are they better presentation? Are they bigger? Are they sold lower than you thought they would sell for? There's an abundance of opportunity to look at pricing, a pricing strategy to get your property sold. And I
Well,
don't,
and another thing too, Mark, is don't look at what's listed, look at what's
it
sold.
has to be sold properties. We can't go off the list property anymore because we have banged our heads too many times talking about properties overpriced, and I'm going to not talk about it so much. So let's get over to the right pricing strategy for the market that we're in.
Mark,
2020.
okay, so my listing on Emerald sold today,
Yeah,
firmed, high five,
that's good.
12 days.
Yeah. And
And
it's
we only looked at solds. I told them there's 100 listings at this price, so there's no point. What sold and what did it sell for? That's
don't
it.
overprice it. Don't sell it. That's overpriced. It's got this. It's not priced. It has to be priced for the market that we're in because there's an abundance of product out there. And I did a transaction over the weekend, and the property came up at the right price for the market, and my buyer jumped on it. And that's the thing that we're continuing to see. If a if a property is priced correctly, it's going to sell because buyers are there. Everyone says, "Oh, the buyers are all gone." Well, some have gone away for a while, but I'm going to tell you right now, there's a lot actively looking, a ton. They're
I
just
agree with you.
not there to pull the pin yet. But if they see something that's going to work for them and they reach out to the realtor or a realtor and they say, "Is that price okay?" Yeah. Should we go look at it? Yeah, we should because it's going to sell.
Yeah.
That's it. That's
And
it.
they and there's no point in, I think I saw something on Very Concerned Citizens or something, or Alcona Chats, one of them, where somebody was looking for a real estate agent.
Oh, yeah, they're always on there.
But the comment was, I don't want somebody that's just going to price it low to blow it out. I want somebody that's going to get me top money and highest value. And I'm thinking, okay,
I wouldn't be putting my name up there because that's the red flag to me saying, I want 2021, 2022 pricing for my house because I deserve it.
well, my point, as soon as I read that, I thought the same thing you did. I mean, you want a realtor that's going to be realistic. And if the number isn't what you want, then don't sell your house.
Mhm.
She
Mhm.
said, we're thinking of selling.
Right. We're not convinced yet because we haven't found the realtor that has stepped up to the plate to say it's worth what we wanted. That's what we're
Yeah.
looking for. Trust me,
Yeah.
they've had 4 or 5 people through. They've all said, let's just say those 4 people says, yeah, no, no, oh, we're not happy with that. We need to get some more of the realtors to tell us what we want to hear. That doesn't work. Right. And back to the story of when you price that correctly, those sellers, a deal gets done quick because sellers they're serious about selling, right? Deals go pretty smooth when that happens.
Oh,
There's
it
no
was,
play money there to negotiate. There is, even when it's still price right. Get
yes.
1 or 2 points easy, maybe three the odd time,
Yeah.
right? So, but I really believe the market can do better. But right now, we're in a real tug of war right now. I'll call that. And
Well,
that
and I'll tell you, my sellers, well, they'll probably watch this video, but she was so happy. She said, like, you did your job and you did it right.
they
Like,
listen to you.
well, yeah, and I didn't underprice it, Mark.
You didn't underprice it. You didn't go with a strategy of let's try 699 to get 8, 10, or 50 or whatever.
No,
That doesn't, people don't, that just turns people off more. That strategy, throw in the garbage right now because it's just not a strategy that buyers want to jump into because
no,
they bruised and scarred back at the peak and they don't want that anymore.
no.
They want a deal to get done. They want to negotiate a deal. They want to go through the full process, not have 4 or 5 offers on the table And even then, when that happens, it's still not guaranteed it's getting done. We've seen
Yeah,
multiple companies.
it's exactly, it's still too low. Now, in the higher prices in condos, Mark, like we've had no sales.
Yeah, 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 yep.
Like we don't have much to talk about because
No,
7 to 8, 8 to 9, 9 to 1 million, and 1 million plus, we got nothing.
yep,
And
yep.
last year, 7 to 8, we only had one, and 8 to 9, we only had two.
Mhm.
And the inventory there, 7 to 8, we only have nine, 8 to 9, we only have five, 9 to 1 million, we only have two, and 1 million plus, we have seven.
100% not selling. And there's
Yeah.
there's a few in my building. One price. It's a corner unit, 713, listed at 759,000, I believe. Not sharp enough. Not sharp enough. Good layout, not sharp enough. And there's a couple of ones that are 2 million in the building that have 2,700 square feet. I mean, it's a beautiful floor plan, but that's a totally different buyer. But
Yeah.
there's still a few that you know what I mean? And I think there is a market there. I saw one Grand Cayman sell, I think it was last month in Nautica for 1,125,000. It was dated, but I thought that was a good price for Grand Cayman. I thought it was a great price.
Did it sell quick?
Yep, that price it did. It was
Well,
dated.
and
So
you know the same thing I know, which is those Grand Caymans. I mean, they're the best
yep,
layout and the best one in the building, and people are waiting for them.
they are. You put 100 grand in that, I think you still got some good equity because I seen one sell last year for 1.6 and change. It was nicely done, but the buyer was waiting for that model.
That's the thing. I've had buyers waiting for that model.
Mhm.
Like if they don't get that, they don't want it.
All right, and you say, "Well, call me when it comes up."
Yeah.
And so in 6, 7 months, a year goes by. Hey, remember you were looking for a model one just came up. Let's go look at it.
Yeah,
So
because you know as well as I do, they don't come up a lot.
they don't. They're rare.
I
Yes.
want to just look right now at the actual actives at this time because we're a good chunk through May now,
Yep.
and I want to see kind of where we're at with condo inventory. I'm hoping we don't see another big spike here because 261, wow,
Up,
242.
up a bit. Yeah.
Well, we're seeing another 20 something. Yeah.
Yeah. So 8%, right? So, I think those who are listed now, I think there has been a lot listed. Are we going to see more as we progress into June, July, August? Maybe the numbers tell us that, in the freehold market that there's some good inventory building months and those are it. And sales are softer as soon as the holidays come into play, summer holidays.
Yeah, I
So
was gonna say usually July and August we see a little bit of a slowdown, right?
it can't get any slower.
No, for listings, I'm hoping.
Yeah. Well, but we've seen some high inventory numbers previous years though. So, you know, maybe not. It's hard to say what's going to happen, right? I think this, if we fix the tariff issues globally, what's going on, because higher prices are coming into effect, right? We're seeing gas. I'm seeing all kinds of TikTok things and reels about, oh, what did Carney do? Did he put the carbon tax back on? When he took it off, it was 122. Now it's 136, 37. Oil's been fluctuating a bit, but it's still hanging in that 60 plus, 60, 61, 58 range the last couple of weeks. But we're not really seeing that true reflection at the pumps I see. As we know, all summer's here, travelers, cottagers, they
Yeah,
squeak in
they
some,
take advantage of that.
they take advantage, which is wrong, right? So,
I was up in Aurelia doing an open house on Sunday while in Ramara, and the Ultramar there was 120.
yeah, yeah, fill up.
It's
And
all
then
over the place.
And then we look at, Honda, for instance, right? Was a lot of people in the region put their EV thing on hold. There's 1,000 jobs, right? All this is playing into the mixing bowl, and we don't know where it's going to get mixed to. but it is impacting consumer confidence and sentiment of the market. And then today, the bond yields have been going through the roof last couple of days.
Oh shit. So their
So,
interest rates
right,
going back up.
right, fixed rates are going back up. The U.S. hit 5 yesterday. 5. What's it doing to the market in the financial markets right now? Sinking them. Dow tumbles 700 points as Treasury yields continue to push higher. Hmm, right?
I'm sick and tired of this. Why can't things just be normal?
I know, but there's so many things in this bowl right now, right? So it's going to be I think it's going to be a challenging year. So if people want to get ahead of selling their home or their properties or their condos or waterfront properties, pricing's key because there's a market there for it, right? We've
Yeah.
seen it. You sold one, I did one on the weekend. Property was listed 3 or 4 days. Sellers are static, right? My buyers are happy. Wow, we've been looking for 5 months. We finally found something that we can go in at. Yeah, it's pretty good. It's priced decently. Let's go.
Well, and you know what, Mark? At the end of the day, you want everybody to be happy.
Sellers are happy, buyers happy. They got a deal done. That's what it's about,
Yeah.
right? Got a
Yeah.
seller that wants to sell, got a buyer that wants to buy. Okay.
Yeah.
So, okay, I think we can wrap it up before I
Yeah.
get.
I think we did a good job.
All right. Remember, subscribe for more information. Anybody wants some information on the condo market, reach out to Dan or myself. Take care.
See ya.